Welcome back. It's me, Adam. You're watching Unlimited Options Investing. I'm a Tesla permabull. I'm in it for the long run. I'm holding on to my shares and buying on weakness. With that being said, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the other EV names. So we have our legacy automakers in Ford and GM, and I really like Ford. If I had the cash allotted for it, I would definitely look into seriously buying Ford, but right now it's run up so much. I do want to find a better entry point, but the fundamentals are definitely getting interesting there. There's still a lot to digest though. Again, they do have a lot of debt and whatnot. So anyway, you got Ford, GM, and from the more speculative side of things, the new startups, the zero revenue names that have a lot of awesome potential. I've been getting a lot of hate saying that I'm short-term bearish on names like Rivian and Lucid just because they're zero revenue or they're just starting, they have a huge runway ahead of them. People mistake like short-term bearishness as if I don't like the company at all. They definitely have a lot of potential, but right now at these valuations, like, is it a great entry point? Some would argue yes. If people get that defensive about, their investments and their trades, maybe they're looking at it a little bit too emotionally, but I digress. So we'll look at names like Rivian, Lucid, NIO, XPEV, and if I think of any other ones as I'm looking at the charts, we'll also look at those. If this is your first time stumbling upon the channel, welcome aboard and hit that subscribe button. Here at Unlimited Options Investing, we talk everything from stocks, crypto, options, ETFs, and we're investing for the long term. As always, smash that like button. Let's get started. All right, starting off with Tesla. This one is having a pretty rough day, down 6%, now trading at $955. This one, for the most part, over the last few weeks has been trading between about $1,000 all the way up to about $1,100, $1,150, more or less, or mostly around under $1,100. But then today, obviously down, opening up around $1,000 and then falling an additional $40, $50 to where it is right now. It currently holds a market cap of $969 billion, so it's fallen off the $1 trillion mark. The next one being Ford stock. This one also having a pretty down day, down 4%. But if we look at the last 5 days, it had a wicked December 10th, going from 1977 all the way up to about 2145, and that would have been a 10% move more or less. But now we're down from there about 4%, still a very good last 6 months for Ford, up 37.59%, and year to date up 140% for Ford stock. If we look at the max chart for that one, this one has been pretty depressed for a very long time, seeing a huge run up ever since after the pandemic crash. It has a market cap right now of $81.76 billion, whereas I remember when I first talked about it when it was about $10, was half of that, around $45 billion. So a lot of money going into Ford stock. This one is very intriguing to me. The next one being GM stock, also having a pretty rough day. Over the last year, it's up 48.75%, so not nearly as good as Ford, but right now sporting a similar market cap of $87.49 billion. Now looking at the more speculative names, so the first one being Lucid Motors. This is a big favorite in the retail community. Right now, a market cap of $63 billion. Remember, they are zero revenue. They could be a very amazing company and could 10x, 20x. It could be the next Tesla, but then there already is Tesla stock, in my opinion. Again, everyone can invest or trade the way they want to. Some people will swear by Lucid, some people will swear by another. It's all good. No one freak out. If we look at the last 6 months, we have a big run up since the beginning of November, end of October, where the stock price was around $26, $25, running up all the way to about $55, $60, and now has fallen down about 35% from those highs. When we look at Rivian, this one went IPO just about a month ago, where it went from $100 all the way up to about $172 for 72% gain. And then since then, we are now at 117, falling from those highs about 31%. Again, another zero revenue company, but does have huge prospects into the long term. I know Amazon has a stake in them, as well as Ford. Not to mention, Rivian has a $100 billion market cap, so they are destined for big things, but they are more of a 5 to 10 year play, much more into the future. They still have lots and lots and lots to prove and come to fruition. The next stock being NIO. This is the Chinese Tesla, as they say. People thought this one was going to 100 by year end. I mean, it still can, but it's already, December 13th, so pretty unlikely unless we see a huge up. But again, being a Chinese name, there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt regarding all these Chinese stocks. So over the past year, it's down about 17%. Year to date, down almost 37%, and it's been a pretty rough 2021 for NIO. trading for most of the year between $30 and let's say $45.50. And NIO also has a $53.65 billion market cap. The next company being Xpeng, they have a $39 billion market cap, also another Chinese name, and more or less a very similar story. Pretty sideways for most of the year. This one actually is up 3.4%, so doing a little bit better than NIO. And the last EV stock I can think of at the moment, if I missed any, let me know in the comments below, is Fisker Inc. They have a much smaller market cap than most of these names at $5 billion. And over the last year is up about 12.77%. And what I found with this stock, and we'll look at the candlesticks momentarily, is whenever this one is $10, it's often a buy because for most of the year it has been bouncing between $10 and $20. Taking a look at the candlesticks, so right now we're looking at Tesla. This one gapped up back in October, at the end of October, from about 910 all the way up to 945. We had that crazy run up, and now we're pulling back. And that's often what Tesla does. It goes on big runs and then consolidates, or goes down for a bit, consolidates. The sentiment dies out and then it runs up again and repeat. So right now we're back in that channel between that 910 mark and 1000. And right now we're sitting right at that support that we found buying pressure the last time we came to this level back about a week ago, and the beginning of that run up after we had gapped up. My guess for Tesla short term is that if we do break this 950, we're filling in that gap and then potentially a little bit lower. But I think Tesla under 900, gimme. The more it drops, the more I want it. All right, taking a look at Ford stocks. So this one, I've been looking at it for quite a while. I just paper-handed it, unfortunately. I wish I held on to my shares, but we live and we learn. So this one had a pretty solid trend line, and then after, let's say, at the end of September, we broke this downtrend over here and ripped up higher from $13.50 all the way up to about $20, and then the other day when we ripped up to $21, and then now pulling back. Look at it, respect that 20 EMA all the way toward that upside. Right now, the fact that we're consolidating is pretty healthy for the stock, so this one's looking pretty good. Taking a look at GM, much different story. We can actually probably draw some lines here, let's say at around $62, and another one right around this $53, $54 mark, and this is a channel that it's going to be bouncing around until it either breaks the top side or the bottom side. Definitely disappointing when you compare it to Ford, its other American counterpart. All right, next taking a look at Lucid stock. So this one, when it was a SPAC last year, it ran up all the way. There's a lot of hype behind this one, from $10 all the way up to what, 65, and bubble popping, going all the way down to, I think it was 16. Yep. And then now the second run up, and then now that bubble is popping. But are we going to see those same lows or find buying pressure around this $35 mark, or we just have to see what happens with this one? There's going to be a lot of catalysts upcoming with Lucid stock over the upcoming years. It's going to be very, very volatile. I would not be surprised if this one does go all the way back to the low 20s. I know a lot of people will call me crazy and probably not like the fact that I said that. That being said, it absolutely may not. Just find buying pressure here and then turn around or consolidate. It's anyone's guess. But what I do know is that, again, they have a huge runway ahead of them, and volatility will be present in the stock. And what I've learned from the stock market is that stocks can go up a lot higher than you think they can, and they can go down a lot lower than you also think that they can. Next up, taking a look at Rivian. Again, we don't have that much data to go through, but we had that big run up, that bubble popping, and now we've been consolidating anywhere from 105 all the way up to about 120, 122. But again, not much to go on because it just IPO'd. This could change very drastically over the upcoming months. Next up, NIO stock. Again, this one has just been all over the place. It's been very messy, a very tough year for NIO investors. This name has had some pretty good pressure in the low 30s, between $30 and $32, bouncing once, twice, 3, 4 times over the past year. And we're just looking to get over that hump, over $40 and then over $45, and then hopefully on our way up toward $50, $55, and so on. This one looking a lot neater than NIO. We could probably even draw a trend line around this area over here and see if it can hold. But again, not much to go on yet. But I do expect that if one were to move significantly, that it would affect the other. And lastly, taking a look at Fisker, and whenever it would touch $10, $11, $12, it would often run right back up to the mid to high teens and then sell back off again, then run back up, sell back off again, run back up, sell back off again. And whenever I would see Fisker in the low teens, I'd look at it, I wouldn't buy it, and then lo and behold, within a month or whatever later, it would be right back up at $17, $18 for a quick 70% gain. It's something that I would look into, but it's not my niche when it comes to trading in the stock market. Alright, and that's the end of my video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you're investing in any one of these EV names long term, or if you're just trading either one of them, the volatility. Let me know in the comments. As always, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.